Okay, wait a second. I thought it was about time we check in with what's new from Shop Miss A and their makeup brand AOA Studio. In case you're unfamiliar, shopmissa.com is a super budget-friendly beauty and fashion accessory site, and they have their own makeup brand where most of the products are under $2. Now, from what I've tried, things can be a little hit or miss, but I find that as time goes on, I am finding more hits than misses, so I have a handful of new Shop Miss A makeup to try on that I've been kind of saving from my past few hauls from the site, so let's just get straight into testing. But first, if you're new here, hi, my name is Miranda. Welcome to my channel where we talk all things budget beauty. If that sounds interesting to you, then become the newest member of the Slashed Squad by hitting subscribe and the bell icon. Okay, the first product I'll be testing out today, I am actually incredibly nervous about. This is their new AOA Flaw Eraser Foundation Stick. These are only $1.88. I got the shade Nude and I did swatch it last night just to test, and it seems like a decent enough shade match, but the texture is kind of spooky. You can see in the tube that it does look pretty waxy, and the description just says buildable perfection for a flawless complexion, buildable, long wearing, and smooth. I don't have a primer from them, so I'm just gonna be using a Milani one that I trust. This is their Skin Quench Primer. I used to be all about foundation sticks in the past. I always found that they were just like so easy, especially for traveling because you don't have to deal with a liquid. The shade looks okay for now. I'm gonna be using my Real Techniques Expert face brush to blend this out. It does feel a tiny bit stiff, but I don't know if that's just because it's like a brand new tube. Gotta break through that waxy layer. Okay, so the coverage is definitely on the lighter side. Interesting. It's like catching on some dry skin I have right above my lip. Not cute. Are you able to see this? There's like a little bit of a dry patch right here, and I can kind of see the pigment bunching. Let's build up the coverage because that was the claim. I barely feel like I got much on that first layer. Oh, the way it's catching on my lip, I didn't even know I had dry skin there. Okay, second layer is definitely doing some more for me. I'll be curious to see if this like sets very well just because of the consistency and the fact that we're layering it up. But I am seeing more of that medium coverage now that we've got 2 layers going on. Okay, first impression of this foundation stick, very easy to apply and blend out. I was kind of worried that it was gonna be too stiff to blend, but it definitely blends out seamlessly. This color match is way better than I thought it would be. I do not think this is necessarily a great fit for dry skin. I have combo skin, but it leans dry around this time of year, and I also just switched off of a pretty strong tretinoin skincare product that was really drying out my skin. So even though I'm like coming back from that, there are still areas of my face, obviously, that I didn't even notice that are a little flaky. And the texture of this foundation is catching. I'm not convinced that this is for me, but I'm not gonna say that it's bad because I could see this working on somebody with more of a balanced skin type. So this one particularly is part of their A+ line. There's a little label on here, and that means that some of the profits go toward education charities. Now I do have a new setting powder to try from AOA Studio. This is their new Puff and Set setting powder. I got the translucent shade. Now I am a huge fan of the AOA Perfect setting powder. That's like one of my favorites. It's so finely milled, no flashback, and seriously smooths out my skin. So I'm wondering if this is kind of like a new and improved version. The other one did not come with a little powder puff. This is also $188 as part of their education cause line. Now translucent is still supposed to illuminate a little bit and leave a sheen. Put this under the eyes to kind of bake with. Ooh, I really like this powder puff. It picked up a really good amount of powder. Nice, okay, okay. Let's do my laugh lines and my forehead lines. Okay, let this sit for about 5 minutes. Let's go ahead and brush it away. Oh no. Oh no, oh no, no, no. Well, a little less of a fan of this foundation now. Before you ask, yeah, I let the foundation sit for a bit before we moved on to the powder. And in some areas that I didn't even have powder on, but I just kind of like rubbed this brush, it completely took the foundation off my face. Okay, give me a bit. I'm going to just put on a different foundation. I am back. I'm willing to try this powder again, but I'm gonna be real mad if it messes up my foundation again. Okay, so here's what I'm getting. They advertise this as good for baking, right? But baking doesn't only happen under the eyes. It happens where you don't want your makeup to crease. But with this being sort of like an illuminating powder, it's leaving highlights where I've baked, like really strong ones. So I feel like they need to pick a lane. I don't feel like this can be a baking powder and a highlighting powder. I'm trying to even everything out by just putting a thin layer everywhere. This isn't off to a great start, is it? I definitely still prefer the original Perfect setting powder. I'm just gonna use a little bit of my Milani setting spray to soften this all back up. Okay, that helped kind of melt everything, but I really hope that this turns around soon. All right, next up, I'm gonna test the AOA Brow Powder. This is new. It comes in 3 different shades. This is 155. The Dark Brow Powder Duo has these 2 shades. One is a dark brown, like a taupey brown, and one does look black. They're definitely on the soft side, which I don't mind. I don't want my brows to be crazy dark anyway. That looks really good and natural. It's super soft, which I like. I like that. It looks soft, but it's filling in those areas that I have patchiness or just no hair. I'm gonna try going in with that lighter taupe shade just for the front, because I do like to keep that area less strong than the tail of my brow. Okay, I really like this powder. Now with brow powders, I don't particularly expect them to be as long lasting as something like a pencil or even a pomade. But usually if I lock it in with some brow gel, they'll get through the day with very, very minimal fading. I'm gonna lock this in with the new Physicians Formula Brazilian Brow Lift Brow Gel. This is like my new favorite drugstore brow gel. This is clear and it's pretty strong hold, but it does not leave a white cast. I find so many strong hold brow gels to give this really weird, like, crusty look after a while, and this does not do that. It also allows your brows to stay a little bit more natural looking. It doesn't give that straight up lamination effect. All right, I'm happy with the brow powder, so hopefully this is a turning point for what we have in store with the rest of this makeup. I've already primed my eyes, and now I wanna go into one of these new Cherry Blossom eyeshadow palettes. These are $188 each. They have 9 shadows inside. This one is called Himeji, and this one is called Sakura Season. I think I'm gonna use the Himeji palette. I'm gonna start with this nude peach shade. Okay, decent buildable pigmentation. It seems like it's blending out really nicely. Of course, I have to dip into this orange corally shade. That really drew me to this palette. I don't feel like I have this color in my collection. This is another matte and getting really good pigment on it. Yeah, this barely needed to be built up at all. Hopefully our woes are behind us in this routine. There's nowhere to go but up. I love that this is blending out for a really, really soft edge, but it's not blending away. Okay, let's get into one of these like satin shades. I'm gonna go for this golden peachy shade. Okay, definitely getting more of the sparkle versus the pigment with a brush. It's very pretty though. Let me try with my finger and see the difference. Yeah, it's just a little bit more even coverage when you go in with that finger application to get the solid, like metallic almost finish. It actually translates a little bit more gold champagne on the eye than peach. I wish the peach came through a bit more. Just to make the transition from this orange to the gold a little less stark, I'm gonna go into this middle shade, which sort of looks copper. Oh yeah, that's a lot more peach. Okay. I think that's kind of more the color I was going for. I feel like these satin shades apply a lot lighter than they look in the palette, because this is literally like the champagne-y peach that I thought that I was getting with what ended up being the gold. For less than $2, this is a good palette. I really like the end results. I am shocked at how blendable and pigmented these mattes were. And as long as you're okay with finger application, you can definitely get these satin shimmer shades to be more high impact. Next, I want to try their new A+ Black Liquid Eyeliner. Look at this beautiful tube. It's like pastel rainbow shimmer, but rest assured it is just a black felt tip liner. I do have my reservations because it's felt tip, but this is 4.5 stars on their website and it is supposed to be waterproof. Now, I do just kind of want to get a feel for the formula. Ooh, okay. Very wet formula, but look at that richness. That is definitely a true jet black. So hopefully I can keep my wing on the skinnier side today. Famous last words. I went really, really slow and steady, and I feel like I was able to maintain control. And I really, really like how dark this is. Now, there is like the slightest bit of a shiny finish. I can definitely see it more on my hand versus on my eye. I'm also noticing that I got a ton of fallout from the eyeshadow, particularly the glitter shades on my face. I will say that the flow out of this eyeliner is really good. It's just enough so that it glides on the eyelid and doesn't tug, but it's not too much that it's immediately like spreading or smudging. I do wish that it was even thinner, because just the slightest bit of extra pressure created a thicker line, which I was not going for. Now that my swatch is dry though, I do want to kind of... Okay, wait a second. Oh, yes. Oh, okay. I mean, that might make up for the felt tip alone. Hello. That's impressive. That's hella impressive. I need to try with water. Y'all, I'm shocked. Okay, now I'm really pressing in and I can actually get it to dissolve, but that took a lot of work to actually smear it off. And also with the water and like really, really heavy pressure, it kind of just like went away. It didn't smear or run. It like balled up and wiped off clean. So with all of that pressure, I mean, look how red my hand is. I trust this eyeliner for sure. Wow. I added mascara. I'm just gonna go in with the Perfect Bronzing Powder from AOA Studio. This is not new. This is just one of my favorite contours. It is in the shade Cold Brew, which is actually a cool toned contour. Next, I'll be trying their new Cherry Blossom Powder Blush. This is in the shade Shuri. I think this is actually gonna match our look pretty well because it is a bright peachy shade. Ooh, whoa, that is really pigmented. Ah! I was not expecting that. Okay, I really like this color. It is the perfect warm peachy shade. And obviously you can build it up if you want a really strong statement, but sheared out, applied a little lighter, beautiful. Ooh, that is so pretty. A little bit on the nose. I have two of their new Everglow highlighters. These are 188. I have the shades Magic Hour and Morning Star. Now, Morning Star definitely has like glitter in it. That is a beautiful golden highlight, a little bit of that peachy undertone vibe. Let's try Magic Hour. Yeah, that one's more of a pink highlight. That one might be a little dark for me. It's kind of tricky when you have a lot of pigment to a highlight. Now, despite not being a huge fan of glittery highlights, I do think that Morning Star matches the look more. At least with the glitter element, it won't look so out of place with the little bit of fallout that I have from the eyeshadow. Yeah, it's not my favorite highlight. And AOA actually does have some really, really pretty highlights. Their loose highlighters are bomb. If you love like that really glowy stroby look. Ooh, this side looks a little better actually. Why did this side turn out weird? I like how that looks. But yeah, they have like the Powlighter. Amazing, but incredibly messy because there's no sifter. Don't know who came up with that idea, but I think that this tone might look better with someone with a deeper complexion. It's just almost a little too much pigment for me. Ooh, looks really good on the nose though. Okay, yeah, I don't mind this. It's not, it's 188. You know what I mean? I just think that AOA specifically has better highlights than this. And lastly, I have two of their new AOA Retro Chic lipsticks. These are $1.88 each. Now these don't make any crazy claims. They don't even have like a long-lasting label in the description. It says creamy, moisturizing, intense color payoff, 8 matte shades. Let's go ahead and swatch. That one's Fringe, sort of like a mauve-y brown shade. And here is Flare, muted red with a little bit more of a pink hue to it. Interesting. That might be the one just to match everything that we've got going on today. Holy cow. That's a lot of pigment in one swipe. It is creamy. Not a fan of the smell. It's not scented, which might be the problem. It just kind of has that like waxy lipstick smell. It's not super strong, it's just right under my nose. That's really comfortable. I don't know if I would go as far as to say it's moisturizing, but for as much color and creaminess that this lipstick has, it definitely feels lightweight. And for the most part, I feel like it did a decent job smoothing over the dry patches I have on my lips. Like, you can kind of see one little speck of dryness right here, but it definitely didn't catch as much as other matte lipsticks would. And I do feel like it smoothed out my lip lines. Now, as far as the matte label, I don't know, I think I'd say satin, but that shade is beautiful, super easy to apply. I am curious about the ingredients though, in terms of like why they think it's moisturizing. Oh, there's coconut oil. Okay, there's coconut oil in them. So if anything, I don't think that they will dry your lips out. I just don't think they're adding like a ton of moisture. Okay, I've watched a few TikToks. Let's see how much this transfers on the back of my hand. Oh, kind of a lot. It looks good though, so I feel like if you blot, maybe it's a little less every time. It is probably one that you'll need to touch up after eating, but it's comfortable. It's pigmented. Not every lipstick has to be bulletproof, especially for $1.88. Well, that was quite a wild ride. We started off with some major flops, but we turned it around because I actually really, really loved the finished look. The highlight for me though was the liquid eyeliner, and I'm really excited to test it out once the weather starts getting warmer and I really need an eyeliner that can hold on for dear life. But let me know which product you liked seeing tested out the most in the comments below. Today's shout out goes to Monique. Thanks for being a member of the Slashed Squad, and join me over in this video next where I share what's worth picking up during this year's Ulta 21 Days of Beauty Spring 2023 sale. There are still a couple weeks left. I'll see you over there. Bye!